Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Tuesday, May the 13th. We got two games on Tuesday night. We got Game 5 of Pacers and Cavs. Pacers are up 3-1 in that series. They got a chance to close things out, punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. Cavs, on the other hand, trying to stay alive in obviously a must-win game for them at home. We'll see if they have Donovan Mitchell today. Donovan Mitchell listed as questionable, so that'll be some important injury news to keep an eye on throughout the day. But yeah, we got Cavs-Pacers Game 5, and then we got Game 5 between Nuggets and Thunder. That series is tied 2-2 with OKC going back home for Game 5. So two big games on Tuesday night. I got two early player props, guys, that I do like for these two games. Taking a first look at the board on Tuesday morning. I am recording this video the morning of. I typically make these videos the night before, but my power actually went out last night. There was a big storm that came through on the East Coast where I live, and power went out last night. But luckily, power back on this morning, so I was able to do my video this morning and give you guys some plays I like for this Tuesday slate. Now, before we do get started, guys, as always, if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out, please hit that like button down below for me. Hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel and if you are new to Prizepicks, if you don't have a Prizepicks account, be sure to sign up. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code and place your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So easy way to start to build up your bankroll on Prizepicks. Use those promo funds that they give you, hopefully to win some money, and you can start to build up that bankroll over on Prizepicks. Again, if you guys don't have an account over there, use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up. And then I do also want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we do have a partnership with Sleeper as well. You guys can go sign up for Sleeper. Use promo code NOAH over on Sleeper and you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So whatever you put in on your first deposit, Sleeper will match that up to $100. And if you guys don't know what Sleeper is, they're a DFS pick'em app. They're very similar to Prizepicks. Really simple, easy to use. They've got a really good app that has a easy user face. It's easy to navigate. So it's just a clean app. It's I think that's something that's very important if you're playing daily fantasy, sports betting, whatever it may be. I think the app that the site's putting out there for you, I think it's very important to be able to navigate through the app smoothly. Their app runs very smoothly. Rarely do they have bugs or glitches or anything like that. So if you guys do want to try out Sleeper, again, you can sign up. You can use that promo code NOAH. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. And another good thing with Sleeper, they do a lot of discounts, a lot of promotions throughout the week. They're always doing discounts on player props. They're giving out protected plays. They're giving out payout boost. You can get access to all that, again, when you sign up with code NOAH. Check out Sleeper if you have not yet. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and talk about some props that I do like for today on Tuesday. Now, I quickly want to recap our plays from Monday's video before we go over today's plays. So we gave out two picks Monday, and we went 1-1, so we split our two plays. We hit Jalen Brunson over 9.5 rebounds plus assists, which is relatively sweat-free. I think Brunson went over halfway through the third quarter. But unfortunately, we paired that with Rudy Gobert over 19.5 PRA. Like I said, my power went out Monday night, so I didn't even get to watch the Minnesota Golden State game. I was looking at the box score though, and I saw Gobert. In the first quarter, he had 3 or 4 rebounds, and I think he had 1 assist. So he didn't really get off to that bad of a start, but he didn't really do anything in the second quarter. And then in the second half, he didn't really do anything in the second half until late in the fourth quarter. He started to do stuff, but at that point it was too late. I think he finished with 15 PRA. Obviously, we needed 20 PRA from him, so that was just a tough one, man. Gobert is one of those guys. I don't know how many props I've taken on Gobert in my gambling career, but I feel like I never get Gobert right. I take an over on Gobert, he's terrible. I take an under on Gobert, and he has 20 and 20. I just can't get him right, but it is what it is. We'll move on to Tuesday, guys. We got two early plays for Tuesday. Let's see if we can go 2-0 here on these two plays. So first prop that I like for Tuesday is going to be a fantasy score prop. We're going to start off in the Cavs and Pacers game. And I like Tyrese Halliburton for more than 39.5 fantasy score. So this feels like a really good opportunity to buy low on Tyrese Halliburton. So if you look at his game log, what he's done, he has gone under this line in all of their last 3 games in this series. In Game 1, he had a huge game, 56 fantasy points. Game 2, barely went under, had 38.8 fantasy points. And then the last 2 games, he's been pretty bad, only 11.5 fantasy points in that Game 3. Also, didn't really play a lot of minutes in that game. Only played 30 minutes because it was a blowout. They lost that game by 22. And then last game was also a blowout. Halliburton only played 26 minutes last game. They won that game by 20. Cleveland was really never in that game at all. I mean, Cleveland was down like 40 at halftime last game. So they really didn't have to push Halliburton's minutes at all. So Halliburton's minutes have gotten cut down the last 2 games because of blowout. Going back to Cleveland, obviously there's a chance this game, could blow out the other way. Like maybe Cleveland comes out here and blows them out. I think Cleveland's favored by 7.5 right now. We'll see if Donovan Mitchell plays. If Donovan Mitchell doesn't play, I think that makes it a lot more likely that this game stays competitive. And in competitive games, we can typically expect Halliburton to play like 35 to 36 minutes. In the regular season, he averaged about 33.5 minutes per game. Obviously, in the playoffs, you expect his minutes to be up. His minutes were relatively full in the Bucks series. Like in their competitive games against Milwaukee, he played 35 minutes. He played 42 minutes, and he played 36 minutes. The other games against Milwaukee were blowouts. They had a game where they won by 26. They had a game they lost by 16. They had a game they won by 19. But he's consistently been getting like 35 to 36 minutes in competitive games. Games 1 and 2 against Cleveland in this series were competitive. In those 2 games, Halliburton played 36 minutes in both of those games. If we get 36 minutes from Halliburton tonight, I feel pretty good about him going over this fantasy score line. I mean, Halliburton's a player that really since he joined the Pacers, he's been a guy that's averaged about 1.2 fantasy points per minute. This season, he averaged 1.23 fantasy points per minute. Last season with the Pacers, he averaged 1.38 fantasy points per minute. And the season before that, he averaged 1.32. So he's been like a 1.2 to 1.3 fantasy point per minute guy. So far in the playoffs, his production has been down a little bit, only 1.16 fantasy points per minute. And it kind of makes sense. Obviously in the playoffs, you're facing better teams, better defenses. So maybe guys aren't as, productive. Maybe they aren't as willing or they aren't as able to put up like these huge ceiling games. But Halliburton's still been a relatively productive player so far in the playoffs. It's just that, the last few games he's kind of struggled. But this feels like a good opportunity to buy low on Halliburton. I mean, it's rare to see him have a fantasy score line under 40 in the playoffs. I mean, his line in the regular season was consistently like 42.5, 43.5. In the playoffs, you would expect it to be even higher because he's playing more minutes. But obviously, he's been struggling lately. Feels like a good opportunity to buy low on Halliburton. Still think he's a guy that we should project to average about 1.2 fantasy points per minute. And if he plays 36 minutes, which he should in competitive games, again, I like his chances at going over this fantasy score line. So that's going to be our first prop for today. And then the other prop that I like going to the Thunder and Nuggets game, we're actually going to look at a first half prop in this game. So if you go on Prizepicks, you click the NBA 1H stat type, that's first half. We're going to look at a first half fantasy score line. We're going to take Isaiah Hartenstein for more than 14.5 first half fantasy score. Now, the reason that I like this first half play on Hartenstein is because I think this game does have a little bit of blowout risk. OKC's going back home where they've been really good in the playoffs so far. I want to say they're undefeated, or no, they're not undefeated at home. But I think the one game they lost at home was that buzzer beater that Aaron Gordon had. But they've been really good at home this postseason. You look at their games against Memphis at home, they won by 50, they won by 19. And then so far in the Denver series, they had that one game they lost on the buzzer beater by Aaron Gordon. And in the other game they played at home, they won by 43. So, they have been really good at home. They've been blowing teams out at home. This game does have a 10.5 point spread. So I think there is a little bit of blowout risk in this game tonight. And obviously, if this game does turn into a blowout, that could definitely hurt Hartenstein's minutes in the second half. Like, he might not play in the fourth quarter. Maybe he doesn't play a full stint in the fourth quarter. But in the first half, we know he's probably going to play like 14 to 15 minutes as long as he avoids foul trouble. You look at this series, his minutes in the first half, he's played 14, 13, 12, and 14. So he's typically between like the 12 to 14 minute range. In the Memphis series, he played 16, 12, 11, and 15 minutes in the first half. And if you look at his first half fantasy score line, he has gone over this line in four of his last 5 games for what it's worth. In this series, he's gone over in 3 out of 4 games. Went under in game 1. Also, he did play 14 minutes, just wasn't very productive. Only had 11.3 fantasy points in 14 minutes. But kind of similar to Tyrese Halliburton, Hartenstein's another guy that is typically pretty productive when he's on the floor. He's a guy that can score around the rim. He can rebound really well. He's a big man that can also get some assists. Like, he's actually a decent passer. And he's a guy that can get defensive stats. He can block shots. He can get steals. and those really add up for fantasy score because you get 3 points for blocks and steals. And typically, Hartenstein's a guy that we can project for about 1.2 fantasy points per minute. In the regular season with OKC, he averaged 1.21 fantasy points per minute. So far in the playoffs, he's averaged 1.15 fantasy points per minute. So if you're going to give me 13 to 14 minutes from Hartenstein, I feel pretty good about him going over 14.5 first half fantasy score. I think the only thing I worry about here is maybe foul trouble. Like if he gets into early foul trouble, that's obviously going to really cut down his minutes and that could hurt. But knock on wood, he's done a pretty good job of staying out of foul trouble, even though he's had to guard Jokic. He's been able to avoid foul trouble in this series. And again, I think he plays like 13 to 14 minutes, barring foul trouble. You give me 13 to 14 minutes from Hartenstein, I like our chances of him going over 14.5 fantasy score, especially with how good he's been in this series. Been really productive in this series. You could look at taking his full game fantasy score line of 29, but again, I do worry about his minutes getting cut down if this game does get turned into a blowout, which I think it does have some blowout risk. Like I said, OKC's been dominant at home so far in the playoffs outside of one game. But yeah, if you want to look at his first full game fantasy score line, which is at 29, you could take that too, but I like the first half line a little bit better. So that's what we're going to take in this video. So we got 2 plays, guys, for this 2-game slate on Tuesday night. Let's see if we can go 2-0 here. Like these plays, feel pretty good about these plays. I think if we get a competitive game and Halliburton plays 36 minutes, more times than not, I'm betting on him going over 39.5 fantasy score. If Hartenstein plays his normal 13-14 first half minutes, feel pretty good about him going over 14.5 fantasy score. So, hopefully no blowout or no foul trouble. OKC game, if that game blows out, obviously it's not the end of the world because we took a first half prop, but hopefully, no blowout in the Cleveland game. We get a good competitive game there. But that's what I'm liking, guys, as our 2 plays for Tuesday. Again, let's try and go 2-0 here, make some money on this slate. Appreciate you guys watching the video. As always, make sure that you hit that like button down below. If you did enjoy this video, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys don't have an account over on Prizepicks, be sure to go sign up for Prizepicks and use that promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. Place your first $5 lineup. You're going to get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So check out Prizepicks if you have not yet. But good luck, guys. Let's win some money tonight, and I'll see you guys in the next video.